The harsh truth why most people fail their fitness goals. If you're like most people, you've picked up a dumbbell before. You've tried over and over again to stay consistent, but it just, for some reason, can't stick. You go to the gym for 2 to 3 weeks, you're really motivated, you saw a movie, you saw an Instagram reel, or you had a conversation with a colleague, a friend, and what they said, what you heard really motivated you. You're ready to take your fitness career seriously. You're buying all these supplements, these water bottles, these new clothes, and you want to make a commitment. You go for 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden you fail. You don't stick with it. Something comes up with work. You go on vacation and you allow yourself to eat a little bit unhealthy. You forget about working out. You're like, okay, I'm on vacation right now. I'll get back to it when I get back from vacation. And then you get back from vacation, you keep putting it off, you put it off, something comes off, and then all of a sudden you're back at square one. You're sitting on the couch, watching Netflix or watching YouTube, looking at all these shredded people or all these big people that are living your dream life, have abs, are confident when they talk to girls, not have a toxic relationship with food, but you still can't manage to stay disciplined, stay consistent, and you just get stuck in this cycle of trying and failing, trying and failing, trying and failing. So in this video, I'm going to give you some practical advice on, I basically just described my first 2 years of my fitness journey. And I'm going to give you some solid advice and what I did to get out of that cycle, get out of that loop, because I know a lot of people are in that same loop. And once you get out of this loop, it's all just psychological. Once you get out of this loop, you can instill the habit, the discipline, and the consistency of showing up every day and not failing going to the gym, but rather sticking to it. So the first thing that you have to understand and know is you're trying to change your state of being, your state of behavior. Your state of behavior isn't just going to go from 0 to 100 and that's it. It's okay to start slowly. It's okay to introduce things one at a time. And you just going, okay, I'm going to go every single day to the gym, Monday to Sunday, that's it. You're going to stress yourself out, you're going to overwhelm yourself, and you're probably not going to stick with it, and that's why you're watching this video and that's why you're in this loop. So what you have to remember is one thing at a time. We humans don't like change. We humans are very lazy and we want to take the path of least resistance. So when you're introducing a new behavior, do so by doing it one step at a time. So what does this look like? What this looks like is, let's say for example, you plan yourself out, okay, I'm not gonna go 7 times a week, but for starters, I'm gonna go 2 times a week. But I'm gonna stay consistent 2 times a week because I know going 2 times a week is a lot easier than going 7 times a week. And then when I've made it a habit and made it a routine of showing up, then maybe I'll add a 3rd day, 3 times a week. You make 3 times a week a habit, and then all of a sudden it's just normal, and then all of a sudden you're just falling in love with the process, and you just naturally see yourself showing up, and you're like, 8 months later, you're like, oh, I just randomly go 5 to 7 times a week. And that's exactly what happened to me. I would show up once a week, and then I added 2 times a week, and then I would take progress pictures. I would start journaling on how I feel, what my mood is like, and reflecting back, I was just improving, I was just falling in love, and slowly and surely, I just built the habit and routine of showing up every day. So that's step number one. Step number one is introducing the behavior slowly and not overwhelming yourself all at once. What's step number two? Step number two is having a solid plan. A solid plan in order to figure out what you want. What are your goals? Why are you showing up? Do you want to build muscle? Do you want to get rid of your fat? Are you skinny and you want to put on weight? Are you anorexic and you want to put on weight? Are you obese and you really need to strip off fat? Are you just looking to tone out your body? You're in pretty good shape, but you just want to have a more lean, toned, defined look to yourself. Once you figure out and ask yourself all these questions, then it becomes easier as to why you're showing up and your goal behind what you're going to be doing. So once you have this why, let's say, you were like me. You had a gut, you were skinny fat, you were super out of shape. It didn't even look like you can squat a plate. Or I couldn't even squat a plate. Let's just put it in that sense. I couldn't squat a plate. I wanted to build some strength, build some lean muscle. Okay, well now I know what I'm training for. I know what I'm showing up for. Now you can move to step three. You either do it yourself, and it's going to take 2, 3, 4, 5 years, or you hire somebody and they are going to help you get to your goal faster. They're going to, once you have your goal, if you don't understand your goal, they'll help you find your goal, and once they have your goal, they'll bring you to your goal faster. If you have trouble staying disciplined, motivated on your own, because some people are intrinsically motivated, like I was, and others are extrinsically motivated, meaning they need some other force, some other help to send them a text. Hey, how was the workout today? Get on a call once a week. Okay, what's stopping you? Okay, what hurdles are you running into? Okay, try changing this, adjust this, etc., etc. And yes, of course, I am leaving a subtle plug into the link in my first link in the description. If you do want coaching, click the first link in the below and apply for one-on-one coaching. We'll get you to your goals as soon as possible in the shortest amount of time. But if you're somebody that's intrinsically motivated like I was, you're going to do all the research yourself. You're going to understand what macros and what foods you need to be eating, how much you're supposed to be eating, how much cardio you should be doing, how often you should be weight training. Then the research part of it comes in. You're going to have to understand, what am I eating? Why am I eating it? Am I eating for energy, or am I eating for size? Am I eating for growth? Am I eating for shrinkage? That's the best word that came to my mouth. Those are the next steps that you're going to introduce to yourself. But see how the first thing was just showing up? It's not you need to do all these things at once, because this is how most people overwhelm themselves, and this is why they quit. Because they overwhelm themselves with so many different things, and then the human body can't just adapt to all these things. It wants to be slowly introduced into things, not just a million things at once. Of course you're going to be stressed out. Of course you're going to be anxious, and of course you're just going to quit. You're going to be like, all right, screw this, too much. It's the same thing with running. Like, I've been trying to run for years, and I should be taking this advice, but I honestly hate running. So I started to change my mindset and said to do sprints and other sort of cardio, like walking, because I've been avoiding cardio my whole life. I've just like, okay, there's no point of it. But now I've understand the last 3 months that yes, there is a point of it, right? Even if you go train for 45 minutes, yes, you're better than the average person, but still, you need to be including some movement, because what, you're gonna go train? Like what I was thinking, I was gonna go train and then just sit the rest of the day? No, this is unfeasible. So slowly and slowly I started introducing cardio into my life. But if you're, for example, wanting to train for running, You're not just gonna run 100 kilometers all at once. Sabina, close the door. And do your clothes that are on the bed. You're not just gonna run 100 kilometers at once. That's unfeasible. You're gonna start with 1 kilometer, then maybe the next day 2 kilometers, then 3, and then slowly stack up until you, if your goal is to do 100 kilometers, to do 100 kilometers. The next thing, and this is probably the most important thing that I overlooked, and why I'm telling you guys this to not overlook it, is early on, track your progress. Take photos weekly, every single week, of you in the mirror, front, side, back poses. Write down your weight. Step on the scale every single morning. Not at night, because you're filled with, you know, all the food and liquids that you've consumed, and then the weight is wonky. Every morning, you step on the scale, you check your weight, and then you write it down, you jot it down. Because let me tell you guys something. What gets tracked gets improved. This goes into any metric into life. So if you want to improve your weight, write it down, track it every day. If you want to improve the way you look, take a picture of yourself every day in the mirror. And even just doing those 2 things, you're going to see massive growth. And forget about everything else. Just literally stepping on the scale every morning and taking a picture of yourself naked is going to psychologically program your mind into seeing, okay, let me go check on my progress from yesterday's picture. Oh, okay, let me reflect on yesterday's weight. Oh, I lost 0.5 pounds. You know, and this is how you could slowly and surely get to your goals quicker. So, actually, I do want to tell you guys one more thing. And this is one thing that has really been a battle and something that I've struggled with, but I want to make it clear to you guys that you don't have to get rid of your favorite foods. You don't have to cut out all those pizzas, all those cakes, all those little donuts that you like to enjoy once in a while, because I'm a big advocate for those. You know, I love to enjoy a pizza once in a while, especially if I'm traveling to Europe or Italy. Like, I'm gonna want a pizza. But if 80% of the time you're eating whole foods, home cooked meals, you know, broccoli, chicken, steak, beef, eggs, yogurt, etc., and then once in a week, twice in a week, even, God forbid, 3 times a week, you decide to have a slice of pizza, a piece of cake, this is not going to ruin your progress. This is not going to impede your journey. Everything will be fine, okay? If you're tracking your food, if you're eating clean, meaning whole foods, foods made by God, not foods made by man in those plastic wrappers, and you know, you buy something from Metro, throw it in the microwave, and then a minute and 30 seconds later, you have a meal, because that's highly processed, and I promise you that is probably the source of your anxiety and depression, not your own, you know, I was born this way. Make that change and have a healthier relationship with food, because if you eat pizza 20% of the time, it's just calories at the end of the day. Yes, they're heavier calories. That's why you can overeat those quicker. But at the end of the day, it's just a few extra calories that won't impede your journey. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, all the other good stuff, etc. And I'm going to leave you like I always do. Create more than you consume, serve others, love everyone, peace.